Psych. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Hello. And I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of Hanging with Coop. Okay. Hanging with Coop. We hanging with Coop. First question. Can you be friends with an ex while in a new relationship? Me personally, I've been friends with one of my exes once. Um, Never again. I I feel like it really varies person to person. I feel like there let me just be honest. No. No. Do I think you can be friends with your ex? Yeah. Should you be friends with your ex? Absolutely not. Because if you're in a whole new relationship, what is you friends with your ex for? Like you gotta make that make sense. Like I just don't your ex, relationship shouldn't be anywhere near your new and or like current relationship. Like that's just at that point, I feel like you're playing. Like because I feel like you're gonna start playing ping pong and you gonna start trying to run between the ex and the current the whole 9 yards. And I feel like your ex needs to be going. Your ex is your ex for a reason, and that's what my girl Summer said. It's your ex for a reason. So, um, so a bit again, yeah, you can be friends with your ex because I've done it before. But do I highly recommend that it should happen? No, but this is just my own personal opinion. So, do what you want with that. But me personally, I catch you hanging around your ex. Your ex is good as fried. Okay? That's just it is what it is. Next question. Are people settling because they're afraid to be alone? Absolutely. Yes. 100% yes. I do feel as though people are settling because they don't want to be alone. Ladies, gentlemen, up your standards, up the price, stop settling. My one thing my mom always taught me is to never settle, and it doesn't matter what it is in life. You should never settle. Always go after the things that you want to achieve. Rather that is a goal, a relationship, whatever you aspire that to be, go after that and don't settle because why are you settling? We don't settle around here. At least not on Hanging with Coop. We don't do the settling. Okay? There you shouldn't settle. And I feel like you will miss out on so much in life in the experience that those are things that you'll just never get back if you decide to sit down and settle. So I feel like if it comes to you being alone and prime example, hey, I've been single for like the last 8 years, 8, 9 years, almost 10 years. We're 9 years going on 10 years. Next year it'll be 10. My last real relationship was back in like 2017. I've dealt with people in between, but I mean, come on. Um, I think, and don't get me wrong, I'm gonna relate to, some of the people in here. I don't think a lot of people are afraid to be alone. I think the issue is when it gets, cold, it's dark outside, the wee hours of the night, whatever the case is. You basically you want somebody. Here's the weather outside is frightful. That um I think that's when people tend to really like feel lonely in those moments. But you really shouldn't settle. Like you'll miss out on so much in life if you really decide to really sit there and settle. And I promise you, there is so much worth living to whatever capacity that may look like for you. But I'll never settle. I don't recommend settling for anybody. Like you're way better than that. Way better than that. We wear crowns around this hoe, okay? Act like it. Put that crown on and act like it. But never settle because you don't want to be alone. Because there's always somebody out there for you. And you're always going to come across that person. But when that time is right, you'll meet that person. But if the time is not right, you're not gonna meet that person. And it kind of just it is what it is at that point. Like, it's not a crime to be alone. And that's just something that I had to learn. Like, it's nothing wrong with being alone, for real, for real. You actually tend to like it, and I've actually enjoy my company. Like, I enjoy my company, being alone, to the point where when somebody does come into my space, I gotta take a complete like step back and analyze the whole situation, because I'd really just be sitting there like, yeah, one of them. But yes, never settle. You can always do better. In a relationship, in life, goes, whatever the case is. So please never settle. We don't settle around this hoe right here, okay? All right, next caller. Should body counts matter? I feel like a body count shouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, once you're with that person, what that person has in their past, unless they've dealt with like a crazy person and that person still continues to show up in their life in one way or another, causing complete like chaos and havoc, like, then no. Even then, no. 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 Just no. I mean, if that does happen, please call 911 and get a restraining order. Something. But as far as a body count, your current partner shouldn't be worried about how many bodies that you have and or who you've messed with in the past. Because your past is your past, and it's not the present day. So me personally, no, I don't think body counts should matter. You should not care who they done the entire time, and if they the whole world. Like, it's not your business. If you're with that person then be with them then. And if you feel that type of way, then you should have never gotten a relationship with them and or tried to mess with them if that's how you felt. We should have just deaded it from the beginning. So honestly, no, like, mind your business. And it's always a double standard when it comes to body counts, when it comes to men and women. Because a woman can't have a high body count, but a man can. But if a woman has a high body count, that makes her a hoe. But if a man has a high body count, he gets praised by all his homeboys. Like, sometimes you got to make that make sense. And I really just don't feel like that's fair. So we really need to stop the double standards, because honestly, like, that's not right, for real. Like, your bodies is your bodies, and shit nobody else care. That's their business. Like, if I'm with you, I don't care who you were fucking. If you Tom, Dick, and Harry, like, I'm not worried about your past. Your past shouldn't even affect your present day. So yeah. Um. Oh, I can't believe this question got picked. Okay. Is monogamy natural? Yes. In my opinion, yes. Um, I can't share with nobody. I'm sorry. Me personally, I'm not sharing the person that I'm with. That's just not, it's not a given. It's not happening. I'm not sharing the person that I'm with. Like, and if you feel as though that you can't be monogamous and it just be me and you, toodle strudel. Like, that's just, I think it's natural. I feel as though the world tries to, when they publicize it, I think they try to twist it and turn it into a different way. And, that's when polygamy and stuff comes in, and they're like trying to make polygamy natural. And that's not natural. I'm sorry. In my opinion, polygamy is not natural. To me, I was brought up to be monogamous, not have a man, like, two, three, four different men at the same time. Like, that's not love. And I'm sorry. And in my opinion, anybody who goes through that, you really need to take a step back and look at your self-worth, because there's no way in hell that you claim to have all this self-worth, but you want to share a man or a woman with like three other people. Unless that's what you're really into, then go off, be my guest. That's what you're into. Then, that part ain't for you. But for the ones that find themselves in that situation or whatever the case is, that's not natural. That's not normal. And if you know you don't want that, again, back to like the first question, don't sit there and settle for something that you know you're not okay with just because you want to be with that person. Because at that point, you don't know your self worth. So, yes, in my opinion, monogamy is natural. I feel like monogamy do need to be natural because I'm not sharing my partner with nobody. That's how First 48 came about at this point. Um, okay. Next set of questions. Do people confuse love with attachment? I do think that people confuse love with attachment. Um, there is a difference between loving somebody and being attached to a person. Loving somebody is you love that person, you love them with all your heart, but you still have a sense of self-worth. You still know who you are. You can still live your life independently to whatever capacity that may look like. That's it, while also still loving the person that you want to be with. This is why, giving space in a relationship and or marriage is a given. Like and I want all my people to know, just because you give your significant other space in a relationship, it's nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's healthy. Like you and your partner should be able to have like your own space. That's just a thing. Like, but with attachment is where you can't live without that person. You can't do anything without that person. Your thoughts are now centered around that person and it now consumes you. You feel like you cannot live without that person. That's attachment. And it's funny because I actually read a book about attachment styles. Because at one point I had an attachment style and I tended to get attached to, the men and stuff that I would date. And, a lot of that had to do with me internally, and I had to figure out why I had this attachment to this person. And and I know those are questions that you never want to ask yourself because those are hard questions. Like those are like really hard, truthful questions that you have to sit down there and ask. And if you're not ready to really sit down with yourself and ask them questions, then, you know, you'll have them problems. But when you actually do sit down and you really do ask yourself those questions and be honest with yourself, absolutely, like you're gonna be okay. But like that's why I feel as though people get confused with love and attachment because like I can love you all day long, but if I'm acting like I can't live without or my thoughts are literally centered around you and you're now consuming my thoughts and I feel a constant need for you, and it's not bad to need your partner or any relationship that you have in your life, honestly. But like when it becomes an attachment is when it's like you kind of lose yourself. And that shouldn't happen, and that's not love. And at that point, I feel as though that you should probably take a step back from love to really focus on you. But that's just my opinion. Don't beat me up. Next. Are family members entitled to access to you? Oh my gosh. I feel like family members are very entitled to your space. Um, I feel as though that because moms birth you and the dads helped make you, yes, I do feel as though that they they just feel as though they deserve access to you. That's just it. And I don't feel like parents deserve as much access to you than what you allow. Because there are some parents that can be like overbearing um and it's not to say it's not doing their job as a parent, because and I always tell my mom this, it's a difference between being a concerned parent and just being like a flat out nosy parent. And I think that's where it kind of blurs the lines, especially when it comes to having access to you in like your life at that point. So I don't feel as though that parents should have all the access to you. I really don't. I mean, you're grown, you make your own life decisions, you do what you want. It's Like my girl Natalie said, do what I want. But all that access to you as you get older, I mean, that honestly to me, that leaves the door open for them to overstep boundaries. If I'm being honest, I feel like that's what that opens up the door for. You kind of really just open up Pandora's box, and it's like, okay, well, hey, I'm just going to get my parent access and X, Y, Z, and it's like, how much access is too much access? Like, so always be mindful because boundaries are a thing, and that's just me. But next question: can someone hurt you and still love you? I'm gonna sit up for this one, and I'm gonna be real raw, cut, and honest with y'all. Okay. You ain't about to tell me that you love me, but then want to go out and hurt me. That's not love. That's not love. And I'm gonna give y'all an example because I've actually heard this quite a few times. There was a person that I know, and he did his do and his dirt, whatever the case is, and he says that he can go out and do what it is that he want to do and still love the person that he's with. And to me, that's that whole like tobacco that we had, me personally, and it's this everybody. You cannot love somebody that you hurt. That's not love. Love does not come with pain. And for some odd reason, a lot of people think that love comes with pain, and that's not the true definition of love. Like I cannot hurt the person that I claim to love. That's how do you look somebody in the face and tell them that you love them knowing that you hurt them? That's not love. That's actually a manipulator and a gaslighter and or a narcissist. So no, you can't hurt somebody and still claim to love them. That's not love. Love doesn't cause pain. Love is not pain. Does love comes with its ups and downs? Absolutely. But hurting someone that you claim to love, that's not love, especially when it's intentional. That's not love. So, to all you ladies, and it's really just towards the ladies because y'all men be some heartbreakers for real, for real. Except for like the men that really don't heartbreak, but y'all men be the heartbreakers. So all my ladies, if a man is hurting you and you always crying or you sobbing and bitching and in a group chat with your girls talking and about this man done did this and this done did that and da 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 and I'm hurting, I'm crying, that's not love. Get up and leave. Like, I'm sorry. Get up and leave. That's not love. That's not the true definition of love. Like, look up the look up the true definition of love and leave that man. Because if you find yourself in that situation, that's not love. Get up and leave that man, sis. Okay? Find you another one. Okay. Um, these were like actually picked. Like I didn't pick none of these questions. These were actually really picked. So I'm actually loving these questions for real, for real. And this one is one of my favorites. So is coming out still necessary? Now this is for all my LGBTs. Um, do I think that coming out is necessary? Absolutely not. I don't feel like you need to come out to everybody to let them know, like, hey, I'm gay. It's 2026. You can really keep that to yourself. If you come out, you come out. If you don't, whatever. If people see you out and about with the same gender or whatever the case is, mind your business. Tell them to mind their business. Like, I don't feel like you need to broadcast you coming out anymore. I just feel like it's nobody's business. Like, that's your life. It's your personal life. It's nobody's business. So, no, I don't think that it's necessary for people to come out. I just feel like everybody should mind their business. Unless, under the circumstances, that you are dibbling and dabbling in both genders, then in that case, because I'm going to play devil's advocate, In that case, I do feel as though that you need to come out and tell the person that you're dealing with, because a lot of men and or women, men, to put it really top of the list, have this tendency of wanting to be DL, but then still mess around with women, and that's not right. In them circumstances, that's not right. You really need to tell the person that you're dealing with that you're into the opposite, like the other gender, the opposite gender. Like, I don't think that that opposite gender should be left in the dark, especially when you're trying to hide something. Now, if you're not in that situation and you just living your life, la vida loca, then who gives a fuck? It's nobody's business. If you're out, you're out. When they see you, they see you. It's nobody else's business. So it is what it is at that point. So yeah. Um, Telling people to mind their damn business. But there's no need to really come out. It's not necessary. Like, this is not 2012. It's not 2011, 2006. It's nobody's business for you to just to broadcast to the world that, hey, I'm gay. Hey, I'm lesbian. Hey, I'm this. Like, it's your life. Do you, boo. Live life. And it is what it is. When they find out, them people will find out when they see you locking lips with the same damn gender. Tell them to fuck off and keep it pushing. I actually have a surprise for you guys next episode. And it's actually something that I have not used since the first season. So I'm actually excited for y'all to see it the next episode, because I'm actually really excited to use it. But we're gonna move on to the next question. Is the 9 to 5 lifestyle outdated? Me personally, and this is really just my personal opinion, I don't want y'all to get offended. I mean, if y'all get offended, that's not my problem. To me, a 9 to 5 is outdated because I know that I am not meant to work a 9 to 5. Um, I know that I am destined for more. So 9 to 5 is outdated for me. Now, for everybody else, you do have some people that like working 9 to 5s. Um, I have a friend, and she is a nurse, a RN. Shout out to her. Go ahead, girl. Do your big one, Sydney D. She likes her job. This is what she wanted to do. She likes nursing. So, you know, to me, it's outdated because I know that I'm destined for more. Whereas, you have others like her and, like, other people in that category who love their 9 to 5 jobs. And I really just think it depends on the 9 to 5 that you do. If you're not doing a 9 to 5 that you like, absolutely, you're going to hate it. It's going to feel outdated to you. But to the ones who do love to do a 9 to 5, then, they're walking in their purpose at that point because they love it. They love what they do. So, as far as the 9 to 5 being outdated, to me, it's outdated because I know, where I see my life going and what I want to do. And although I may work a 9 to 5 now, it's not ideally for me. It's not ideal for me to keep as, just an income to come in. And, that's just that. I don't really care for the 9 to 5s for me. But, for the ones that like it, I love it. So, neener, neener. Next question. Ciao. I pulled from the wrong pile. Is forgiveness required for healing? Absolutely. Not only do you have to forgive that person, but I feel like you need to forgive yourself. And you cannot forgive a person unless you forgive yourself. And that's just something that I had to learn as I got older. And I experienced, a lot of different situations and like heartbreaks and stuff. Like, you truly cannot forgive a person unless you forgive yourself for going through the situation. And it's not, and when I say that, I don't mean blame yourself for the situation. I mean, you're just forgiving yourself for what you went through or what you allowed yourself to go through at that time, because at that time you may have been a little bit more vulnerable. You may have, been a little bit, broken and, in a gray area at that point in life, or whatever that is. And there's lessons in everything. You're always going to find the beauty in something. So I feel as though, when you do get to that journey and, it is time to heal and whatever the case is, yes, I always feel as though that should always start with you in internally at that point, not even external, internal. You're always supposed to forgive yourself for the things that you went through. And then you forgive that person. And when I tell you it allows you to move on gracefully, you become a whole nother bitch. Hey, you become a whole nother bitch, like for real. So I will always say, like, there's no point of holding on to hate. There's no point of disliking the person, whatever the case is. Forgive yourself for what you went through. Learn the lessons. Spot them out next time. Forgive that person for what they put you through and keep it pushing and live your life because life is too short to be not be just being angry. Like, and I feel like when you don't forgive yourself and or a person, it turns into hatred and or like resentment and you're not happy. So that's just my opinion. But next one. Should vaccines be mandatory? No, because I don't trust the government. I don't trust y'all. Sorry. That's just my personal opinion. I don't trust the government. Um, Everybody knows. If not, then here you go. Um, you're probably gonna have to fact check this because I kind of forgot the time frame of how long it takes. But um, I don't think mandatories should be mandatory. I don't think vaccines should be mandatory because everybody doesn't like receiving the vaccine. And then you have your natural girlies and your herbal girlies who believe in the natural way. And there's nothing wrong with that because like I'm kind of one of them. I stopped getting vaccine shots years ago. Now, granted, being as though that I work a 9 to 5 job and, since I work in a hospital, I'm required to at least have the flu vaccine. I've never once gotten that COVID vaccine. I actually shamed my grandparents for getting it because it takes, I want to say, at least 5 to 7 years, if not maybe like 3 to 5 or 5 to 7 years. I'm probably wrong, but y'all can again Google exists. Y'all can fact check it. But it between that time frame of years, that's how long it takes to develop a vaccine for anything. So the fact that they pushed out a COVID vaccine within the 2 minutes of everything going on, it came with so many side effects. So no, I don't trust it. So when it comes to vaccines being mandatory, absolutely not. Don't stick me with that needle. Don't touch me with that needle. Don't come near me with that needle because the needle just might be in you at that point. Like, don't touch me. So I don't believe in vaccines. I honestly feel like it really just does more harm to the body than what it's supposed to do, if I'm being like honest. So forget all the vaccines, for real, for real. Next question. Um, is homeschooling better than traditional schooling? Um, I'm not okay. Stay with me. I think that homeschooling is better than traditional schooling when it comes to safety. Um, Again, we're in a world now where there are so many schools being shot up. There are so many kids being targeted and the whole 9 yards at that point. So when it comes to a safety concern, that's why I would prefer to do homeschooling over traditional schooling. Now, when we come to the academic category, I would prefer traditional schooling over homeschooling. And even in that area, or just the topic overall, that can vary it can vary in so many different situations. Um, But I feel as though, teachers are teachers for a reason. They went to school for their profession for a reason. And I feel like if everybody was to homeschool their kids at that point, we kind of just put teachers out of business. And I have a newfound look out on teachers, and I think teachers are actually wonderful people. So, this is a shout out to all my teachers out there. Um, you are not unnoticed. Your hard work does not go unnoticed. We love you guys very much. We appreciate you guys very, very much. And I actually want to shout out like all of my old teachers back in high school and middle school and like elementary. I want to give a shout out to you guys and all the other teachers. You are deeply loved, greatly appreciated. And I actually just found out this year, and that's what really changed my whole outlook on teachers. I never knew that, all the times that when we were little kids and stuff, and the teachers would throw us pizza parties, and we'd be excited to get up and go to school because it's a movie day. We having pizza and chips and drinks and all of that. Us not knowing at our young ages that these teachers would fork money out of their pocket and sacrifice what they have just to, supply us in whatever way that may look. And that really changed the whole trajectory on how I view teachers because, the salaries for teachers aren't the greatest. And, they still have their own life and their own bills to pay. So the fact that, they get up, get out, and, they are doing parties and stuff for their class, like that, to me, that's just amazing. That's really amazing. And I feel like teachers aren't appreciated enough. And they actually go through a lot, especially when it comes to students. So again, um, I didn't lose the plot, I promise you. So, going back to traditional schooling and homeschooling, I really think it just varies on your situation and whatever that may look like for you. So, like, again, for me, I would prefer homeschooling for safety concerns because there's so much going on in the world and so much targeting towards schools for some odd reason. The world may never know why they get out and target little kids' schools. As a parent, you shouldn't have to be on edge sending your kid to school hoping they're going to return home or not. Like, it should never be like that. That should never even be a thing. But yes. So I will always say, like, yes, it varies from person to person and whatever the situation may look like for you. Um, so yeah, yeah. We kind of talked about that already. So now, should voting be mandatory? Please get out and vote. Please, 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 please. If you ain't gonna do nothing, get your ass out and go vote, okay? Because voting is very, very important. Reasons as to why we got that nutcase up in the White House right now, along with his little pack of wolves and everybody else sitting up in Congress. Like, voting is an essential thing. I feel like if you are able to vote, if you are registered to vote, please get out and vote. And I posted recently about the midterms coming up in November. So I want you guys, please, please, please get up and go vote. This is very, very important. You know, not only are our lives on the line in that state, but you also have to think about the children. This is a world that we are raising kids in. I don't have no kids. I'm just saying for all y'all parents out there. But I'm just saying, like, I have nephews and nieces. But this is a world that we raise our kids in. So, you know, having somebody as a leader for, the term that they're being a leader for, I feel like that is very, very important. So I absolutely do feel that voting is important. Back then, I never took voting seriously. I really just didn't care. Now that I'm getting older and I see how this world is going in this country and who y'all, because I ain't going to say me, y'all, the ones that did elect Donald. Can I ask y'all a question? Do y'all feel salty? Do y'all feel salty about that now? Like, do y'all actually regret voting for that man? For the ones that did vote for him? Because, like, I know for a fact You had to feel some type of like sick at that point. Because that man played in our face. He didn't even play in my face. He played in your faces. He played in your faces terribly. Real terrible. I'm a Gemini, okay, and a proud one at that. He is a Gemini. That ain't your average Gemini. Y'all let that man lie and play in your face. So with all of that being said, please get out and vote. Please get out. Please go vote. It's very important. We really live in a world where there's a lot of hate and stuff going on. Like, so please get out and vote. It's very important who we have leading this country. And I do want y'all to know that when the Declaration was signed and implemented in 1776 of July 4th, I want y'all to know that that Declaration of Independence starts off with, we are the people. The people is us. No matter your color, race, gender, sexual preference, your orientation, whether you a fucking dog, a alien, a human, a fucking wall, a tree. I don't care. None of that matters. We are all humans at the end of the day, and we all deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. So, this is my message to you guys. November midterms are coming up for 2026. I really, really do encourage you guys to please get out and vote. This is very important. Our lives are in these people's hands. And if we want to see a change, the change starts with us. Again, the Declaration of Independence starts off with, we are the people. We are the people. Okay? And I want you guys to know that. We are the people. The change starts with us. And it's kind of like a chain reaction. But if y'all ever wanted to overthrow the government, I'm just saying that y'all can actually do that too, because that's if y'all actually pay attention to y'all rights and laws and all the branches and stuff. Absolutely. If the whole country was to come together, y'all can actually get Trump out of office and impeach him the correct way. Just food for thought. Penny for thought. Throw that penny at y'all. Clock it. But no, seriously, dead ass though. We really are the people. So please get out and vote. November midterms. Please, everyone get up and vote. Very important. This is not normal. Gas prices are high. Food is high. The cost of living is high. And these are just things that we should not have to go through. And people are already stressed enough, even the ones that have kids and stuff. Like, nobody should have to go through that at all. Like, do something with it. For real, for real. But please, if y'all aren't going to do anything, please get y'all asses up and go vote, please. Like, please get up and go vote. Very important. But we're on the last question. I know it's not on a piece of paper. I actually wasn't going to include this in this episode, but when I was packing like everything up, the paper fell on the floor and everything was already packed up. So clearly it was meant to be here. So last question of the night is, should parents monitor their children's phones? Absolutely. As parents out there, as y'all parents out there, again, I'm not a parent, but for all y'all parents out there, yes, I do hope you guys are monitoring your kids' phones. Please monitor y'all kids' phones, because you really never know what's going on out there. You don't know who your kid is talking to. You don't know who your kid is dealing with. You don't know what they're doing when it comes to Roblox and social media. Roblox and social media. I'm not going to go too much into this, but I will always, actually, I'm going to just say, you think you know a person until you don't. Again, As parents, I feel as though that you should be checking your kids' phones at a young age whenever they're able to operate a phone. I feel as though that yes, you should be checking your kids' phones. You do need to figure out what your kid is doing in their phone, who they're talking to, because people in this world are very crazy nowadays. There is a lot of sexual predators. There is a lot of rapists out there in the whole 9 yards, and I just feel like we are living in a country right now where nobody absolutely gives a fuck about the kids, and that's sick, for real. So, with that being said, parents out there, if you're not going to do anything besides feed them kids, please get up and check your kids' phones, iPads, tablets, game systems, hell, whatever technology they got. Please get up and check your kids' stuff, for real. Because we really do have some odd people out here. That's really just the best way to put it. We have some odd people out here who prey on innocent children, and that's not cute and it's not okay. So all y'all parents out there, stop being so engulfed in your man, your woman, and what everything else got going on, and tend to your kids, okay? Figure out what's going on in your kids' technology. Because I promise you, it will save you from a lot of things. Because if you never think that it would happen to you, it can. And I'm speaking from experience. It's never happened to me. I don't have no kids, so I never had to like worry about that. But I did have someone in my life who I found out did that type of stuff. And again, it kind of changes the way you look at a person and the whole 9 yards, but it also makes you want to protect the children more. So please, like I said, if y'all not going to do nothing but feed them kids, please check your kids' phones. Check any type of technology that your kids got, their accounts, their social media accounts, their whole nine. If they are at that age where they need to be monitored, monitor your kids' stuff, because it is entirely too much going on in the world. Okay? Okay. Nonetheless, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching to the end. If you watch to the end, thank you. I love you guys so much. Please like and subscribe. If you don't, oh well, it is what it is. I still love you guys. Even though you watched, it is what it is. But we're here and I'm actually out right now. So, um, this has been another episode of Hanging with Coop. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys so deeply. And without further ado, I am going to excuse myself and go stage right. And I'm going to go enjoy my time. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Hanging with Coop. And that's a wrap on this episode. Thank you guys.